Hi, everybody. It's Gene Simmons, and you're not, and you're listening to the Potter Than Hell podcast with Steve, BC, BB, and Dylan. But you knew that, didn't you?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Potter Than Hell podcast. This is your last stop on the crazy train of hard rock and heavy metal. So sit back, buckle in, and hang on. Here we go.
Hello, Potter and Hellions. It's me, your old friend Stephen Michael from the Growin Up Rock Podcast, and with me tonight is
Wrighty.
And that means that you get the two Steves today, and you've already looked at the title of the episode, so you know what you're getting with the two Steves. You're getting another episode of Judas Priest 2x2. And I'm super excited about this because this is my era of Priest that we are getting into, Wrighty. So we've gone through some great albums. We've also gone through some tough Judas Priest albums in the earlier days, but now this is my Priest. This is the meat of the order here. And tonight we're going to cover the 6th studio album in British Steel and the 7th studio album in Point of Entry. Wrighty, are you excited about this, baby?
I am. You know, and it's funny because I think you and I are on the same page Priest-wise as to when we got into them, because I know my first Priest album was East in the East, which we did on the last episode, and I'm pretty sure that was your first one. And then now we're getting into the, I don't know, do you want to call it the modern era of Priest? You could, I guess. Once you get into the 80s, you get that kind of switch in drummers and sound and producers and everything. But I got into Priest just right before, or maybe a little bit after, Screaming came out. So like these two albums went back to, but pretty early in my priesthood, if you want to say it.
Yeah, so it's an interesting trip for me because technically I got into, it's a little bit similar to the AC/DC story with me in that I got into Screaming for Vengeance and British Steel sort of at the same time. So whether British Steel came first or Screaming for Vengeance came first, I can't really recollect, but it's that time period for me where, you know, I got into this record and then the other one was out and I went straight to it. And, you know, so it was kind of at the same time for me. I'm going to go with British Steel being the first record for me just because I vividly remember like Living After Midnight, Breaking the Law, that stuff. So definitely the time period for me. And probably, I mean, this is really where they're starting to break America and everything else. So I would assume that the majority of people, at least our listeners, would agree that this is the most popular era of Priest, the dawning of the most popular era of Priest for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I really, and it's funny too, because just kind of thinking back when we get into Point of Entry, like I know I got both of these albums at the same time. And when we get into the tracks of the albums themselves, I'll talk about it later. But it's weird how you remember things, and especially when you go back and like how you remember things. It's kind of weird, but I can't wait to get into it.
Well, definitely we'll talk about that because Point of Entry for me actually came much later in the story for me, and I'll explain how and why that happened and what went on with that. But look, before we get too far into this Priest episode, I got to ask you, what are you listening to these days?
All right. This is the first time I've recorded since we got back from our cruise that we went on. It was myself, my wife, BC, and his wife, and BB and his wife, Sunny, and Nicole, and John and Jen, BB's mom, and son went along with us also. So we had like 12 people on the cruise. And so when I was on the cruise, I had my little portable speaker. So I would be either in the room or out on the balcony. For some reason, I just literally binged Iron Maiden when we were on that cruise. I don't think there's very little other stuff that I listened to while I was on the ship. I listened to a little bit of Classic Rewind on Sirius XM on my phone, but it was pretty much Maiden. And right before I left, I was listening to a lot of older Def Leppard. Kind of keying on High and Dry and Pyromania. So that's what I got going. How about you?
Yeah, well, with us podcasters, a lot of what we listen to is whatever we're studying for, right? When you have a podcast, you have what we call homework to do. And so I think you're no different than we are, where we're just whatever's going on, you're listening to or binging that. So for me, obviously, a lot of Judas Priest was happening. I got on a Saxon kick not too long ago because of the episode that we recorded with Brad, where we did the Saxon draft. So definitely a ton of Saxon. And then I've been trying to listen to new things that are coming out. Somebody on Facebook will go, "Oh, man, have you heard this latest album here? This is great." So you go and you do some of that stuff. I've been trying to listen to some classic records. Like I've seemed to have been on like a live kick. I went and did Russian Rio, which is really
love it.
Yeah, it's a great record. Did that one, and Made in Japan, Deep Purple. Did that one, and just trying to do some different things lately, trying to listen to some old classic like 70s stuff here and there,
Yeah, and they just Deep Purple, they just reissued that Made in Japan album again. I was checking that out about a month or so ago, and that's always that's one when you don't put on, and then you put it on for a while, and then when you finally do, you're like, holy shit, why don't I listen to this more? But it's just kind of one of them that if you have nothing that's really grabbing you, that's an album you could throw on and just totally enjoy it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so that's it. You ready to jump into the Judas Priest discussion?
Let's go.
All right, so we are going to start with British Steel. So I'm going to give you guys some basic facts about this record. The record was released in April of 1980. It was recorded at Titanhurst Park, Ascot. Now, that studio, are you familiar, Steve, with the significance of that studio?
Yeah, like the Beatles recorded there or something, right?
Well, it's a house that belonged to Ringo Starr. And yes, he had a studio there. So whether the Beatles actually recorded there, that one I don't know. But I'm sure he must have recorded there. I just don't know whether the band recorded there. They may have or may not. I don't know. So that's the significance of that particular studio. The length of the record is 36 minutes. They're on Columbia Records at this point, and the producer of this record is Tom Allom, who goes on to do some great records for Priest. This record is platinum certified, and the other significance of this record is that it is the first to feature drummer Dave Holland. And I consider Dave Holland to be part of the classic lineup. So the lineup at this point is Rob Halford on vocals, Glenn Tipton on guitars, KK Downing on guitars, Ian Hill on bass, and Dave Holland on drums. That is the classic lineup of Judas Priest for me personally. Do you feel the same?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Because with the bringing in Tom Allom to record, to produce them, and then with the new drummer Dave Holland, the sound is very distinctive, which you're going to get that same sound for the next couple albums, and I think you fit well. And obviously we have Scott Travis now, but I think he was a good addition. If you watch any of the videos. He hits them drums hard. I was if you watch the Us Festival show, I was like, holy crap. But I like his drumming, and there's a lot of good drumming on these next two albums we're going to talk about.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so let's talk about the album artwork, my friend. So the Judas Priest album artwork, I would call this iconic artwork in our world. Would you agree? Oh,
absolutely. Absolutely. This is, you see kind of, it's one of those shirts that you'll see people that you know are not metalheads wearing because of the cool look of it. You got the razor blade with the hand holding it up, and and this is you get the classic, which is now the classic Judas Priest logo with the I don't even know what you would call it, the squiggly lines underneath it, and it's like a raw, cool, understated album cover, but it's just like bang, it's like right there, and it's probably, I would say, their most memorable one. That's the one that if you said which Judas Priest album do you think of album cover, this is going to be the first one that probably 95% of the people say.
So, Righty, does this album scream metal to you?
This screams it with a goddamn megaphone, and it's just it's great because this is one that you can say I identify with being a metalhead, and this would be the shirt you'll be wearing to say that.
What is your thought on this? Does it look like the razor blade is cutting the fingers or not? It's just holding it.
My personal opinion is I think it's right on the edge of cutting through.
Okay. I mean, there's no blood or anything.
There's no blood, but it looks like indented, just before it starts to cut through.
Yeah, it looks like the forefinger and the middle finger and the index finger are almost sort of cutting. The pinky just looks like it's hanging over, and the thumb doesn't look like it's cutting, but that forefinger for sure just looks like it's cutting through. Maybe it's the way the art was done or something like that. But yeah, and if you look down further on the wrist, right, there's studs. It's somebody's wearing studs, right?
Yep, you got a little studded bracelet on there. And it's cool too because you can see the shadows of the fingers, on the blade itself too.
Yeah, definitely. So classic album cover. I dig it. How can you not? It's very iconic to me. All right, so let's get into the tracks. All the tracks are written by Glenn Tipton, Rob Halford, and KK Downing. And we're going to talk about the U.S. release of this album because this is the album that I grew up with. This is the cassette that I had, and it's what I know best. And since then, they've changed the sequencing of the record slightly. Like if you go to Spotify, the sequencing is changed, I think, a little bit, but the sequence for this specific episode is going to be Breaking the Law, Rapid Fire, Metal Gods, Grinder, United, Flip Your Tape, Side 2, Living After Midnight, You Don't Have to Be Old to Be Wise, The Rage, and Stealer.
Yeah, Steven, they really mess with this also on Apple Music. The track listing on there is Rapid Fire, Metal Gods, then Breaking the Law, Grinder, United. Then it opens up what would be side 2 with You Don't Have to Be Old to Be Wise, Living After Midnight, The Rage, and Stealer. So they really, I don't know why. I don't know. Because, I mean, I'm like you. Like, I'm used to the album opening up with Breaking the Law.
Well, I think it's, I just think it's the U.S. release versus what they released in Europe. I think that's what it comes down to, and I don't know what the reasoning is for that. I'm sure that the band or the producer has said at some point what the reasoning was. I just don't know what that is. So it is what it is. But let's get into it. So side 1 opens up with Breaking the Law. You put that tape on or that album on for the first time. First of all, do you remember, is this the first Priest that you ever heard? No. Like I said,
I had Unleashed in the East, and then I had Screaming. Okay. So I was already familiar with like those 2 albums when I got this one. Okay.
And I think I remember seeing the video for Breaking the Law with KK and the stupid pilgrim hat.
Yeah. They're dressed as the priests with their cassocks on.
Yeah, I mean, KK's got a pilgrim hat on, doesn't he?
Something like that, yeah. He's like the vicar. He's going to the graveyard.
I think this is just the English way where, we weren't very schooled on the English way. And at that point, it's not something that you could just Google or do whatever, It's just, I remember seeing the video going, yeah, it's kind of dumb looking. But anyway, so Breaking the Law, Rapid Fire, I think it flows nicely. It goes into from Breaking the Law into Rapid Fire. Do you like these two tunes? You have issues with them? First, Breaking the Law. What's your thought?
No, not at all. I mean, that riff, that's one of the, I would say top probably 15 iconic metal riffs in the, history of metal. It's instantly recognizable. And, that chorus, and every time I hear it, all I can think of is Beavis Butt breaking the law when they sing that. But it's cool though, because like you get that middle part, that kind of soaring part, like you don't know what it's like. So there's like a little lead whammy bar thing there, but there's no real solo in it.
Yeah.
But like you don't miss it, and it's one. I think when they played this on the Epitaph tour, the crowd sang it.
Yeah.
Halford didn't sing at all in it. And I'm like, you know what? I'm paying to go to a concert to see you sing. I'm not paying to have myself sing. But it was kind of cool to have it that way. And Rapid Fire, you get that. It's kind of cool because like you have Breaking the Law, and it's kind of, I don't know if you want to say mainstream, but like for Priest probably. But then like Rapid Fire, you're back to like, metal Priest, when those drums kick in, and a lot of kick-ass drum fills on this song. There's like the guitar change in the middle is like really intense. There's some great leads in it too. I like the vocal cadence in it. It's just got a cool feel for it. I think it is a really good 1-2 punch.
Yeah. Does Breaking the Law have any fatigue for you?
A little. But I don't seek it out, but I don't turn it off when it comes on either.
Yeah. Well, I like both the songs. I do, however, think that Rapid Fire might have made a better opening track. It's a little bit, I agree. It's a little bit faster, a little bit faster tempo. So, maybe they realized that and said, yeah, you know what? This should actually be the number one song, not Breaking the Law. Either way, I like them both. And then we go from Rapid Fire into Metal Gods. Now, I think I remember you saying you weren't a fan of Metal Gods. Am I hearing that wrong or remembering that wrong?
You're not exactly remembering that wrong. The only thing, I like the song, but I don't like the Metal Gods.
You hate the chorus.
I hate the chorus. It's just like, and then I like the down, 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 those guitars you get there, but just that, like I love the verses. I love the cadence of it. Cause I remember, I don't know, maybe the Angel Retribution tour when he came out, he was walking like the robot singing it and stuff. I think that's cool. It's got a really cool thing. There's a lot of cool like sound effects in there and stuff, but just the chorus, I'm like, oh my God, but it doesn't totally kill it for me. And it's way better live. Cause it kind of sounds choiry when they sing it on the album.
Yeah.
But it's a little more, they got a little more punch to it when they do it live.
So I completely understand what you're saying. I don't feel the same way. I really, really like this song a lot. I don't know, maybe because it's called Metal Gods, it kind of just identifies me with Priest. I really like the riff. I really like the heavy thing. I do understand about the chorus, but it doesn't bother me. It's definitely left of center for them because it's almost kind of like a pop course, the way that they layered it and everything.
Right.
All the sound effects and metal and stuff that you're hearing, they've been quoted as saying that they dug into Ringo Starr's silverware cupboards and were just clanking whatever they could find and recording it. So that's basically where they got some of the sound effects and sounds going on, is actual metal clanking together, and it came straight out of Ringo's silverware drawer. So pretty cool.
Oh, absolutely.
All right. So from Metal Gods, we go into Grinder. What are your thoughts on this tune?
I like this one. I always enjoyed this song. And I don't, there's when Ripper was in the band, there's, which is kind of weird too, because they have like 2 live albums out from when Ripper was in the band for like 4 years. But I love how he sings it. I love how they both sing it. But for some reason, I always picture Ripper singing this one. Sorry, Rob Halford and Priest fans, don't kill me. But I love this song. I think this is great. It's heavy. It's got a groove in it. I love the chorus in it. The Glenn totally rips it for the solo. I love the kind of breakdown. I have my license. It came with birth. You get that whole like kind of bridge there. I think it's great. It's always been a favorite of mine, and I've only seen them perform maybe once or twice, but I was always like, oh man, just Grinder, baby. Love it.
Yeah, I love it as well. I just love the riff at the beginning. It's just a straight ahead hard rocking tune. I dig it. And then we end side 1 with a song called United. So I have a few different things to say about this particular tune. Wrighty, I'm going to let you get your thoughts out first, because I have a feeling what some of those thoughts are going to be. But what are your thoughts on United?
Oh, I'm sure you do. This is where the album takes a little dip, not a little dip, a pretty big dip for me. I like the crunchy guitar tone on it. The da like that double hit on the snare is cool. But it's like soon as it hits that pre-chorus, I'm like, ugh. It's way too kumbaya for me. It's good when it goes back into the verse, but man, that I just can't get over the chorus on this. It's just, I hate that rah-rah shit. It just drives me crazy. It's a skipper for me. I never listened to this song. Well, I mean, I listened to it obviously to do my notes on this album, and I'm like, oh man. And I kind of forgot about it because I just like don't want to think about it. But it's a really super bottom tier Priest song for me.
So we've talked about this before in past episodes. They have a similar song on Hellbent for Leather or Killing Machine, right? And I don't recall what the name of that song is, but it's very kumbaya. In my headspace, this is something that Priest has done and continued to do even after British Steel. It's just they have these songs on their records that they kind of like this. Now, I remember United chorus bothering me much more than it did when I was recently listening to this record, because I had forgot how much I really like the riff and the music leading up to the chorus. Because I like the music as a whole, but it gets to that chorus. It's another one that I totally get why you don't like it. I'm sure there are other fans that feel the same way, that kumbaya thing. It's just the chorus to that, the chorus to Metal Gods, it's just all kind of left of center. It's not what the rest of the song is, so it feels a little strange the way it comes off. So I agree, but I like it.
Yeah, that other song was Take on the World, by the way.
Okay. I couldn't remember the name, but I knew that there was something where we were like, yeah, this.
Yeah, there's more to come too down the road.
That's right. But I think United is definitely better than the one off of Killing Machine for sure.
I'll give you that. There's more parts that I like in this than that other one.
Yeah. All right. All right, so we're going to flip it over to side 2. The cassette gets flipped over. The first thing you hear is that Dave Holland drum beat, very famous drum beat that goes into Living After Midnight, one of the first songs I ever learned on guitar because it is such a simple riff at the beginning there, man. What can you say about Living After Midnight? It's a classic Priest song, probably their most famous song, honestly. What do you think?
Yeah, probably. And it's funny you say about playing guitar. There's literally like 4, maybe 5 songs I can play on guitar. 2 of them are on this album. I forgot to mention it before. Breaking the Law is one, and this is the other one. And actually, I performed this live on stage once, playing guitar.
Awesome.
And but I love it though. And I love it in its simplicity, but it's just a good, like, it's like comfort food. It's like a bread and butter song. It's so singable, chantable, that just straightforward drum beat that comes in. I think it's a perfect album side 2 opener. It's just, and it's a fun song. It's like, this is their rock and roll all night is basically what it is.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, as much as I love Priest, Breaking the Law and Living After Midnight are definitely fatigue for me. I never put them on playlist.
No.
And that's just me because I like to dig into the deeper tracks when I put playlists together. So for this record, something like Metal Gods or Rapid Fire or Grinder, those would go on the list. Maybe even Steeler at some point, but not this one. So we moved from Living After Midnight to a song that's, I view this as an interesting song. It's definitely the song I think that sticks out on this record, and that's You Don't Have to Be Old to Be Wise. I'm interested to hear what are your thoughts on this song?
This is a song that I kind of disregarded over the years. I was like, because you get that, you go from Living After Midnight, then you get that,
Yep.
It kind of, takes it down a notch. But, doing my prep for this, and like I hadn't listened, it's a song that I don't go to. And like I said, I kind of dismissed it over the years, but like this one has grown on me in the last couple of weeks getting ready for this thing. I think I have a newfound respect for it. The guitars are crunchy on it. I like the echo. It's really cool when that second guitar comes in because they're a little bit off with one another. I think it has that little convoluted feel to it. The verses, the vocal cadence, and it has a good driving feel on it. Rob's vocals are great. You get a solo from each guy on this song. Like I said, I used to not like this, but it's grown on me.
I'm really happy to hear you say that because this is a song that I think is sort of a hidden gem on this record. To me, it is the one song on the record that is not like the other songs on this record. And
I agree.
It has that sort of poppy guitar line, but there's something about the melody and the chorus that I really like. Like I like that. You don't have to be old to be wise. I really dig the way that Halford sings that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he doesn't like go overboard or like screaming that, you know what I mean? It's just, he's in the pocket with it, I think.
Yeah. I dig that tune. All right. Moving on to The Rage. This was one that I had to listen to leading up to the recording tonight because it's one that I know it's on the record. I see the title. I know the title. I just never can remember right away. How does this one go? And then as soon as it starts, I'm like, oh yeah, that's this one. What are your thoughts on The Rage?
Well, it's unusual that you get to hear the bass first on a Priest song. I don't think we get it again until Defenders. I've always liked this one. It's got a different feel for me, and I think that this and Steeler, I think they go together fantastic. I like the bass line in there, and you get that dan it, like that kind of little back and forth. But when like it kicks in, it's like has like such a big feel to it. When it when that comes in, you're like, whoa, shit. And I think they kind of fake you out in the beginning a little bit. And KK does the soloing in this. He does a lot of really cool wah pedal stuff on there, like kind of like very center-esque some of the soloing on it. I love the intensity of it, and I've always liked this one. And KK does all the soloing on the song, and the soloing at the end is ripping too.
Yeah. So the Rage for me, I don't necessarily love the beginning. It's a little bit of a strange start to a song for me. It's the whole, I don't know. It's just a weird feel for me. I don't love it, but I do when it kicks in and finally settles into what the song is basically, then I dig it. So it's not a skipper for me, but it's one that at the beginning I'm kind of like, the other songs kind of like are off to a good start from the beginning, where this one is just kind of starting strange for me. And it's not until it really settles in that I still start to dig it.
Come on, you got to let them throw Ian Hill a bone every now and then.
Man, I don't have to let them throw Ian nothing.
You're an Ian hater.
Ian, just stand back there like you do and play your bass. Quit your crying. All right, moving on to the final song on the record. We're talking about Steeler, not the band, but the song. So I saw this when they played this live the tour before last or something. This has been in the set list a few times over the last 10 years. And I dig it. There's nothing I have really bad to say about Steeler. I dig this song. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, this song just like rips right from the beginning. This is like, yes, this is what I go to Priest to. The bass is really thumping in this one. I think it's great in the mix. Like the soaring chords are great there. KK solos in this one again. You get that little break after the solo. There's some really cool drum fills in this one, and it's great. It's a fantastic album ender. Like I said, I think that these last two songs really go together. There's some really cool this is a song, and I don't say this a lot about Priest. I say this about I say this about a lot of other bands and albums and stuff like that. For me, this song is a must with a good pair of headphones, because there's some really cool echoing and the soloing that goes on at the end, and it kind of swirls in your headphones, and you don't really can appreciate that if you're just listening to it, like saying like your Bluetooth speaker or in your car or whatever. But just a killer rocking way to end this album.
Yeah, I mean, this ends with a bang for sure. And to me, like 9 songs in and out, 36 minutes long, this to me is the perfect kind of record, really, especially back then in my high school years, man. And to me, this record has everything. I'll be honest with you. There's really no skippers for me. And if I do skip something, most likely it's usually either Breaking the Law or Living After Midnight, simply because of the fatigue. And really, I don't even skip those. So I think this is a great record. Definitely shows growth from the last record to this one. And I can understand why this record was sort of the breakout for them in the States. Definitely. Let me ask you this. How about your top 2, bottom 2?
Top 2, bottom 2. Let's see. Total bottom 1 is United.
Yeah.
I gotta say Metal Gods, just because of that chorus.
Wow. Okay.
Sorry, Metal God. So top 2, I'm gonna go Rapid Fire and Steeler. Okay. Just for the rockiness that I, that's what I go to Priest for. How about you?
So Grinder's not one of your top two?
Oh, yeah, Grinder. Oh, can I do a tie?
No. Pick one.
Oh, fuck, you're killing me.
I expected Grinder to be for sure front and center on one of your top two.
All right, give me Grinder and Steeler. Okay.
All right.
You talked me into it.
Fair enough. All right. So my bottom two are probably, I'm going to go with United and the Rage. My top two. Yeah, it's just I told you I don't like that beginning on the Rage.
It's just there for you.
Yeah, and United I'm with you on the course. Like I don't necessarily need rah-rah from Priest. My top two are gonna be probably Metal God and Grinder. To be honest, I like Rapid Fire a lot, but I really like Grinder and Metal God. I told you I don't. I get it. Why you don't like it, it just doesn't bug me.
Yeah. I mean, I would take a live version over any day. I mean, with most stuff for me anyways, but yeah, just that chorus and I think it's the way that it's recorded, it doesn't fit.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing, the course is pretty short, but the other thing that I absolutely love, and you mentioned it earlier, which is I've seen him do Metal Gods so many times live, and
right.
and I think he does it every time, that freaking robot walk. That metal robot walk. I love it. It's freaking great.
It is cool.
So
now he does it with the cane.
Yeah, he does it with the cane and the big coat, and it is what it is. But, you got to love it, man. I just, I can't get that vision out of my head, and it's just so Priest, man. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So there you go. That is 1980s British Steel. Fantastic record, and if that is your entry point into Judas Priest, God love you, because that is just a great place to come in and go back. So before we move on to point of entry, it's time for the gem song. And the gem song that we are going to feature is one of the bonus tracks off the point of entry re-release. And this is a song that was supposedly recorded during the 1988 Ram It Down sessions. This is a song called Thunder Road. Take a listen, and we're going to come back and talk a little bit about this song, righty? So here you go, Thunder Road.
Green lights, I'm coming home tonight.
All right, so that was Thunder Road. They said they recorded it during the Ram It Down sessions, but I personally think that it would have gone fine on Point of Entry, which is maybe why they added it to the re-release of that. But also, I think it would have gone fine on Turbo. What are your thoughts on Thunder Road?
I like this song. I think it's really cool. And I'm not wondering if it wasn't an unrecorded leftover from these sessions, maybe, and then they did them again, you know what I mean, in 88.
Yeah, maybe. I think the song is too long. I think they could have cut the song down to about 3 minutes, but I do like the song. I mean, for me, it just doesn't sound like anything on Ram It Down, which is maybe why it didn't make the record on Ram It Down. But it just sounds like, to me, Turbo or Point of Entry.
Oh, really? I thought this screamed Ram It Down for me.
Oh, no, not at all for me. That's just my opinion, but, you know. I
mean, it's great, though. It's ripping. The soloing in it is fantastic. I was like, holy shit, like, why haven't I listened to this song before? I'm sure I've heard it, but, like, really listen to it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Hope everyone out there did, too.
That's it.
All right, so now I'm going to take the reins on the album Point of Entry, give you a little bit of info on this one. Released on February 27th, 1981, was recorded in Ibiza Sound in Ibiza, Spain, and it's 37 minutes and 41 seconds long, only a minute and change longer than British Steel, produced by Tom Allom and Judas Priest on this one. A couple singles from the album: Don't Go, Hot Rockin', and Heading Out to the Highway. Certified gold in the United States, did not hit the platinum mark. And I don't think let me see, United States, the highest it I got was 39 on in the United States, which is not too bad, you know, for thinking of how many albums were out then. And so before we do that, and the album cover is interesting on this because there's two different ones. The original one is it's got the Judas Priest logo up in the right corner, and then you have like a desert scene, and it looks like tape rolled out, like a highway headed out to the horizon there, and it has Point of Entry like right in at the top of that with a little landscape thing up on the top. And Steven, what did you think about that album cover?
So this is the cover that I had. This was the cassette that I had. It's the first time that you get the 3D Judas Priest logo, right? You get kind of the 3D logo.
Yep.
Yes. So, okay, here's where, like, I had no idea. This is why I love podcasts and I love doing research and all this other shit. Until I did this, I had no clue whatsoever that was old computer printer paper that's laid out across the desert there.
I thought it was film.
It's that old school.
I can see that now. Yeah.
Yeah. I had no clue about that until I read about it. I'm like, holy shit, that is what that is. The old school printer paper with the frickin' things on each side, because you used to have to scroll it into those little cogs and stuff from the old days, which, you know, yes, unfortunately, I remember those days. That's how old I am. But overall, I think the record cover is okay. I don't think the band liked it at all. I like how Point of Entry is at the very end on the horizon of the mountains. I'm not sure why they decided to put it across a desert. Other than maybe desert plains, but it seems like it would have made more sense if they had the computer thing simulating the white stripe down the middle of a highway and had a highway going, you know, into the horizon. But I don't know. It's just a little bit weird to me that they did it this way. But overall, I don't think it's that bad.
No, it's okay. I mean, it would be but it's no British Steel, that's for goddamn sure. But
no, but
it's funny too.
But I do love that 3D Judas Priest logo.
I do too. That's like the best part of it for me. And if you flip it over on the back, there's like 5 white squares on the desert floor. I'm not really sure what that's about either, but yeah. And on British Steel, at least, going back to that real quick, on the back cover of that, it has a picture of each guy playing live, but the band does not appear anywhere on this album, other than when you open it up, the inside jacket, it has pictures of the albums preceding this one. And then there's lyrics on the other side. So there's no band pictures on this album anywhere.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, and then just real quick on the re-release of it, I'm not really sure when they re-released this cover. It's just like kind of a muted horizon. And I guess it's the tip of a wing from an airplane. And it has the Judas Priest up in the right corner, point of entry underneath that in red. It's, of course, I had to buy it on vinyl too, just so I have it. But that's how I roll. That's how I know. I know, that's how I roll. But there's still no pictures of the band, even on the inside sleeve. You do get lyric sheets, but that's about it. What do you think about the re-release?
Well, so the album artwork, I think you can't, on Spotify, they don't even have the old cover.
The old one. No, it comes up as the new one.
Yeah, when they re-release some of this stuff, and I've seen it for other bands too, they get rid of the old version and they just keep the new version because I guess they figure, hey, this is better because it's got the record plus some bonus stuff, and we'll just, it sounds better because it was remastered or whatever. So we're just going to keep the new version. We don't need 2 versions. But then there are other bands that have all the versions. So it's kind of weird the way, I don't know who makes that decision. Maybe it's the band or the record company or something like that, but it is what it is. So, yeah, I mean, the re-release is okay. I still have the original copy of the record, and the re-release is what I stream because that's what's available to stream, and it's fine because it has Thunder Road, in addition to it. So it's all good.
Yeah, and the re-release also has a live version of Desert Plains from 1986 on there too.
Yep.
Yeah, and as far as the band goes, same lineup as the British Steel album. It's going to be Halford, Tipton, Downing, Ian Hill, and Dave Holland on drums. So you have the same lineup for 2 albums in a row, which has not really been a steady thing. They've been the kind of the template for Spinal Tap drummer wise, I think a little bit, and Judas Priest. But up until 90, Scott Travis came in and he was there till now. So let's do a little track action here. Opens up with Heading Out to the Highway. Another, for me, iconic Priest riff. It sort of comes in. Instantly love it. I like the, hit 'em boys. And then you get the kick in. I think this is a great, Heading Out to the Highway. It's a good, kind of traveling song, like a road trip song. Halford sounds amazing on this one. The drum sound on the album is great right away. Tom Allom, I think, does great with the rhythm section of Priest as we go through these albums that he produces. This is one song that I don't think they're playing it on this current tour, but this is when I'd be kind of a little disappointed if they didn't play it live in a show that I saw. And second track, Don't Go. This was the first single put out for the album. I'm like, wow, you go from Heading Out to the Highway to this. It's slow and plodding. I don't like Halford's vocal delivery on this one. It's very clipped, I think. The chorus is terrible. The solo section is really good, though. KK does the solo on this one. The band underneath the solo is really good, but then it goes right back into that chorus, just like fingernails on the fucking chalkboard for me. But it's weird, though. The chorus after the solo doesn't bother me as much as the chorus before the solo. I don't know if it's different at all or what, but it's just maybe just a weird thing in my head. But maybe because I feel that maybe the song kind of redeemed itself after, with the solo section. So I'm not sure. What do you got for our first two tracks here, buddy? It's weird, I know.
Let me talk about my history with this record real quick. My history with this record is a little bit interesting because, as I said, I came into Priest on British Steel and Screaming for Vengeance almost simultaneously at the same time, maybe British Steel a little before it, but both records were essentially out when I got into Priest because 1980, I'm just now starting high school, and honestly, I was a jock my first year in high school, so I wasn't really absorbing all the metal around me, which would happen sophomore year on. But anyway, I think why in my head it goes British Steel, Screaming for Vengeance, Defenders of the Faith. That's my trilogy of Priest, even though in between British Steel and Screaming was Point of Entry, because I remember when I was getting into Priest that so many people were like, yeah, don't bother with Point of Entry. Point of Entry is not good. And I think because it was a departure from what British Steel was, and so I think they lost a lot of fan base with this record, and it's just an interesting record. If you listen to British Steel and then listen to Point of Entry, it's definitely, and then listen to Screaming for Vengeance. So go in that order of records. It really is a strange record. Not that it's bad, and we'll talk about that, but it is a strange record. One thing that occurred to me is Point of Entry almost seems like it's the precursor to Turbo. And the reason I say that is because there's a lot of pop stuff, and they talk about the record company kind of pushing on them to write more commercial, radio-friendly stuff on Point of Entry, and that's why their sound changed a little bit on that. But this record, to me, if it went British Steel, Screaming for Vengeance, Defenders of the Faith, Ram It Down, Point of Entry, and Turbo, to me, that would make more sense sound-wise. Do you agree with that? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know what? I never thought of it that way, and I agree too on the differentness of this album. I mean, we could talk more about that when we wrap it up. But yeah, that is a good point, because like I said, when I got into Priest, I had Unleashed in the East, then Screaming for Vengeance, then probably British Steel. But I'm now thinking back, I think I had Sin After Sin before I even got this one, and it's just kind of an outlier, I think. And when we go through the tracks, they'll be different. But and this is an album, like I can't pinpoint when I got this. Like I know I had Unleashed, Screaming, British Steel, and I probably had Defenders before I even had this one.
I totally did. I can tell you, I didn't get this record till after Defenders of the Faith was out. I can tell you that. I got British Steel, Screaming for Vengeance, Defenders of the Faith, Unleashed in the East were the records for me up front. And then I went to this record because I'd heard Heading Out to the Highway. I'd heard Hot Rockin'. I'd heard Desert Plains. I'd heard some of the songs off it, but because people were like, that ain't great Priest, the order that I went with the records was British Steel, Screaming for Vengeance, Defenders, and then Unleashed was my gateway into the older shit. So I got Unleashed and then went back to Stained Class and shit like that. So that's my order of shit.
Yeah, same thing. Like I said, I can't pinpoint when I picked this up. I mean, I still have my original copy.
Yeah.
Which is the corner's a little dinged, but it's it's not as beat up as some of my other albums because it didn't hit the turntable as often as, all the other ones. So, so I thank you for bringing that up because I totally forgot to get into our history with the album. So,
and I sidetracked us a little bit, so I'll jump back in and tell you, heading out to the highway and don't go. Heading out to the highway, I absolutely love. Like, I've always liked that song. There's nothing wrong with that tune for me. I dig it. The video, is good. Everything's cool with me on heading out to the highway. But then this is the first time that you get a huh? Because Don't Go is a little bit strange. I gotta say though, I don't hate the chorus to Don't Go. Like when it kicks in and the chorus, don't go. That doesn't really bother me. I don't hate the song, I guess, is the end result. It's a little weird. I get what you're saying about the choppiness. You're 100% straight up on that. It's just a weird place to go to be sandwiched. Hence, Don't Go. But it's a weird place to go on the record, sandwiched between heading out on the highway and hot rocking.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it can go. Doesn't have to don't go. It can go. But, track 3, Hot Rockin'. This is one song that, unfortunately, I cannot separate the video from the song. But I do like the song. I don't think I've ever seen them play this live. I would like to see them play it live. I like the chorus. I want to go. I want to go. You know what I mean? I like that. I like the cadence of it. It's a good sing-along one. KK gets the first solo. Glenn does the second one. They both tear it up in here. The band crushes it. This is like a good, heavy Priest song for me. Good, more upper tempo song. And then I like that bridge. I'm going out in search of the bright lights. That whole part there. That's kind of like right after the solos, and then it goes right back into the chorus. I love this song, but I do not love the video. For that one.
This is one of the things I was thinking of when I look back on stuff like this, like that video. I'm like, the signs were all there. Why did we not get the signs?
me and BC were literally talking about that last night. The same exact conversation we were talking about that. And but we, it wasn't in the culture as much as it is now out there.
Well, that's exactly it. The answer to that is we weren't near as educated as we are now. Now it's everywhere, right? Now it's on TV. It's everywhere around you. And to each his own. But looking back on history, like you're kind of like, oh, what are we, idiots?
Yeah. Well, yeah, but you know what? When you're 10 and 12 years old, you're not thinking of that stuff.
Well, you're not thinking of that stuff when you're 16 and 17 either.
No. I mean, I know you got a couple years on me, but like in that, you're not, in that mode unless you're in that mode. So I don't know if like gay people or whatever, like caught onto that. I don't know what the gay metalhead community is. I don't know. I mean, maybe they're like, yeah, okay. And maybe that's what attracted some people to them. I don't know. I can't speak to that. Like I said, looking back, you're like, yeah, how did we miss that? But society was not functioning the way it is now. So you weren't looking at stuff through that lens, I guess you would say.
Yeah. But I do dig the tune. I mean, yeah.
I do too. I think it's great.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, I'm good with the first 3 tracks other than Don't Go. It's the wrong placement in the record for that. Like that should have been shoved down towards the end or something. But I can see where you wouldn't want Heading Out to the Highway and Hot Rockin' together, simply because they're kind of similar tunes, tempo wise and everything. But I dig Hot Rockin'.
All right, next track is Turning Circles. All right, this is another weird one for me. It's got that back and forth feel to the guitars. This, to me, feels like some other band wrote this for these guys. This does not feel like Judas Priest songwriting for me. It's just weird. Another terrible chorus. I don't know, like musically, besides the chorus, I like the feel of it. That middle part, that is not the Judas Priest that I want to fucking hear. That is not what I want to hear from these guys. There's no real solo. Like the leads have kind of a little haunting thing, which is not too bad. It's just a little weird. I could do without this one for sure.
I was thinking about this song earlier when I was listening to it, and that part that you just referenced, the you know what that reminds me of? Because the first thing out of my head was like, this isn't Judas Priest. This song's kind of weird. But that part is sort of reminiscent of, what is it? Sinner? Where they have that? Yeah, it's Sinner, right? Or Ripper. It's one of those two. Is it Sinner or Ripper where they have the breakdown part, and then where he's like, you know what I'm talking about, right?
I think so. I think it's in the Ripper, maybe. I know what you mean, but I can't quite place it.
Yeah. Anyway,
but it's not as low key as this one, though. This one's just weird.
Yeah, this song is a little bit strange for me. I agree with you 100%. Anyway, on to the next.
Well, because I didn't want to do these two in a row. Next track. Closing track on side 1, Desert Plains, which this is an absolute positive top 3 Judas Priest song for me. Wow. I fucking love this song. Those guitars, they have like that opening riff has like a kind of a lonely feel to it, I think. But when the drums kick in and the bass is thumping there, Rob's vocals are very haunting on this one. I love when he like that. You get that drum fill when he sings "Wild Mountain Thunder Echoes My Quest." You get that really cool drum thing in there, and it's got such a. Which I don't go to Priest for this, but this is just a kind of an anomaly for me because of the laid back feel to it. That is just like, all right, you can just put this on and go. Rob sings fantastic. The solo, there's a lot of soloing in this one. It goes KK, then Glenn, then KK, then Glenn, then KK. So there's like. They each, KK gets like 3 parts of the solo and Glenn gets 3 parts of the solo. So it's very cool when they go, and I like when they come back from the solo, the intensity picks up just a little notch in the song. And I just love this one. And this is one that they kind of extend it live, they do that drum thing. And then, and Rob does this vocal thing that is very cool. I love the song. It's a favorite Priest song for me.
Wow, I did not know that you love this song that much. It is definitely not a top 3 or 5 Priest song for me. However, I do like this song quite a bit. Here's another one where one of the first riffs I learned on guitar. Priest riffs are great to learn, by the way. Desert Plains is another riff that I picked up on guitar that was fun to play. Not a great guitar player here, people. Just I learned these parts to guitars or to songs that I can play, and Desert Plains was one of them. I think it's a great ending to side 1. I like it. And if you look back, so we're talking about this album being kind of the stepchild for Judas Priest in their catalog of this era of Priest, yet Heading Out to the Highway and Desert Plains is 2 songs that are still in the set list these days. I mean, maybe not on this tour, but definitely in the last 5 to 10 years, they've played both of those songs live because I've seen it.
Absolutely. Me too. I would be pissed if they didn't play Desert Plains. I would be a little disappointed. No Heading Out to the Highway, but pissed if there was no Desert Plains.
Yeah, so they switched that out this tour with Solar Angels, and we'll get to there. But Solar Angels is in the set for this particular tour that they're on now.
Right. Speaking of Solar Angels, that's our next track. They start off with some scratchy guitars, goes to kind of a mid-tempo feel to it. For some reason, the vocals seem like they're recorded different on this song. I don't know if they're a little back in the mix. I'm not sure. There's some real cool soaring effects that we kind of, equate with maybe like Going Up to the Sun or something like that right before the solo that Glenn has a solo in this one, by the way. I would kind of like to see this live because I would hope that they would speed it up a little bit. I think that this could use a little more tempo in it, and I think it would really make it much more enjoyable for me. This one's okay for me, and Glenn plays the solo at the end too. So not a skipper, not a favorite. This one's just kind of middle of the road for me, but I don't skip it, and there are some really enjoyable parts in it.
Yeah, so don't ask me why. Maybe it's because they're together. One closes out side one starts side two. But for whatever reason, Desert Plains and Solar Angels in my head are brother and sister songs. I don't know why. It's just that's how it sticks with me from my youth. And so I like both of them. I like both songs. Do I like one better than the other? Probably Desert Plains, because it's been sort of pounded into my head over the last years, because they've certainly played that much more live than they have Solar Angels. But I do like Solar Angels as a song. And when I talk about songs off of this record, I like the deeper tracks, and for me Desert Plains and Solar Angels is kind of a little bit deeper tracks than the norm. But yeah, I dig it.
All right, track number 7, You Say Yes. Talk about a happy crappy song. Oh my God. This is not what I go to Priest for. The chorus is freaking cringeworthy. The middle part, which slows down, is okay, I guess. I do like the build back into the song. There's no solo on this one. You say yes, I say fucking no.
And that's how the song goes. You say yes, I say no.
The producer should have said no.
Yeah, this is you can see it from what the band has said, where the record label is pushing on them to write commercial radio friendly songs. This is their attempt at that. And it fails miserably. It's just not a good song. And I think probably the band maybe looks back at this stuff and says the same thing. I think they would probably, maybe say, hey, you know what? Maybe we don't say that we wrote this tune ever. You know, they never certainly don't recognize this song live at all anywhere. But anyway.
All right. Next track, All the Way. Seems to be a popular title for songs, because a bunch of bands have songs called All the Way. Crisp guitar start at the beginning, but I'm like, what the fuck with this album? Like, this another happy crappy song for me. I'm like, a little heavier musically, I think, but I don't like how Rob sings this one. But I do unfortunately find myself head bobbing to this one a little bit as it goes on. There's really no solo. There's like a little dual guitar thing in the middle there that I guess they can pass as a solo. This one's not bad. It's not bad. A little too happy crappy for me, but I think that this one too would do with a modern take on it, like maybe a little more tempo, a little more crunchy guitars, a little more distortion. I think that this song could be salvageable if they chose to, re-record some songs. I think that this one would greatly benefit from that.
So I like the use of happy, crappy, and all your stuff, but I'm going to say when you're referring to happy, crappy, I think that you're talking about tunes that are written with major chords. So the major chords are a little bit more poppier, a little bit, to your words, happy, crappy. I don't mind it that much. I think it's okay. We're going to talk about this next song, and really it kind of ties together in what we're talking about with All the Way. But All the Way for me is okay. It's not such a bad song. It's certainly better than You Say Yes, and maybe that's why I like it much better, is because when you come from You Say Yes, then you can only go up, right?
Absolutely. Next track, the penultimate track on the album, Troubleshooter. It's got a little Livin' After Midnight-esque drum start at the beginning there, a little more up-tempo. This one is a weird one for me. I don't like the vocal cadence, but I do like the choppy guitars during the verses. There's some good lead licks in between some of the lines. Glenn plays the first solo, then KK plays the second one. Chorus is okay on this one. It doesn't really knock my socks off, but it's not a You Say Yes for sure. And this one, I'm not sure the time on the track on this one, but this one seems to drag a little bit for me. but not bad though.
Okay, so Troubleshooter for me is my "You Don't Have to Be Old to Be Wise" on this record. I like Troubleshooter, super happy pop chords, but for whatever reason, I dig this tune. I don't think about it much. I don't put it on a lot of playlists, but every time I hear it, I always find myself singing the chorus, "My little troubleshooter," So It's one of those songs that is a lot like "You Don't Have to Be Old to Be Wise" in terms of my like for it. That's how I feel about Troubleshooter.
Yeah, I guess it's not bad. It's and it's one of them too that I was kind of like, okay, I kind of forgot about this one, because this is there is a lot of forgettable shit on this album, by the way. Last track, "On the Run." I like the driving feel on this one right off the bat. It's got more of an up-tempo one. Rob's pretty high vocally through the whole song. Pre-chorus I like a lot. Glenn has the solo, and he rips it pretty good. I do like this one. This was one that kind of surprised me. Totally forgot that this song even existed. It was a good one for me. I think it's some of the stuff that you have on this album, this is a good album ender.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Overall, it's not a bad album ender. This album is an interesting one, to say the least. Okay, let's start here. Give me your top two, bottom two on this record.
Okay, top two, without even a thought, is Desert Plains and Head Out to the Highway. Bottom two, You Say Yes. That's like bottom of maybe the whole discography, perhaps. And I don't know, probably Turning Circles. Either that or Don't Go. Probably Turning Circles, though.
Yeah, you and I are simpatico with both. So my top two, 100% Heading Out on the Highway, Desert Plains. Bottom two for me, You Say Yes, and Turning Circles. All that to be said, they are still playing 3 of the songs on this record live in the past 5-10 years. This record is just as advertised, but not as advertised, meaning, for me personally, it's not as bad as my recollection of what everybody had told me when I was just getting into Priest. Like, I remember them really coming down on this record. And songs like Heading Out to the Highway, Hot Rockin', Desert Plains, Solar Angels, Troubleshooter, I like that shit. So it's not that bad of a record for me. Now, that being said, British Steel, Screaming for Vengeance, Point of Entry, and Defenders of the Faith, it's by far the worst of those 4 records. To me, it doesn't even compare to the other 3 of this time period, of this era of Priest. That's why I'm lumping those 4 records in that group. And to me, it is definitely the least favorite of those. So with that regard, I think it's understandable what people's thoughts were on this record initially.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? And I'm sure there are Priest fans out there that this could be their favorite album. I don't know why, but I'm sure that there's those people out there, and that this could be a go-to album for them. And it could be the Priest fan that this is the first album that they had. So that was, has a special place in their heart for them. I can totally understand that. It's not a total throwaway album. Like I said, out of that block of albums from British Steel to, I will even go to Turbo, that this is it's the anomaly one, and B, it would probably be the bottom of that chunk of albums. Maybe not the bottom of all Priest albums, though.
It's definitely not the bottom of all Priest albums. Let me stop you there. Definitely not the bottom of all Priest albums. Also, I like this record better than Ram It Down, but we'll get there when we get there. So overall, this record could absolutely be somebody's favorite Priest record. We've talked about that often. It's the nostalgia of where did you come into the band? If this is the first record, it's not unlike, The Elder for Kiss or Unmasked for Kiss. I mean, if that was the first record you got, then that's your favorite Kiss record. It is what it is. So I don't even try to argue that thing. You can't argue nostalgia and sentimental value. But yeah, overall, it's fine. Out of these two records, I mean, it's British Steel all the way for me. And like I said before, when I think about Priest, and my trilogy of Priest is British Steel, and then Screaming for Vengeance, and then Defenders of the Faith. That's my Priest, forever. So there you go. Good episode there, Stevie boy.
I enjoyed it. Always good delving into some Priest. Always good having you on. I appreciate you coming on with me here. It's gives the boys a week off, and I appreciate your help on this stuff. And it's always great having you on, my friend.
We like doing the Judas Priest 2x2s sometimes as much as I love Priest, and for sure when we start getting into those damn Ripper albums and that Nostradamus and crap like that, I wish that I could trade with Brad Rustoven on the AC/DC or something. or Sonny on the Y&T. Can we start rotating some of the hosts of these other series? You got so many 2x2 series going on, and I like so many of them. I listen to them all, but I get jelly of some of these other bands that I really, really do enjoy, like the Y&T and the AC/DC, and you're doing. I even enjoy. Listening to the Queen ones with Dylan, because really those are the fun ones to listen to, because I'm not as versed in the Queen as I am, let's say, a Priest or AC/DC or a Y&T, right?
Neither am I.
So it's fun for you too, then you get to learn.
Especially now we're getting into like the quotations, the newer Queen albums. I'm like, okay, let's go for it. And as Priest would say on the Turbo album, sorry, you are locked in on Priest.
Yeah.
We got to take the bad with the good, but you never know. You may find something that you may surprise you that you had kind of forgot about. You never know. It's
true, but we did that Priest draft, and when I did some extra homework on that Priest draft, I did realize those Ripper records are awful. I think I'm going to call out. I'm going to call out when we get to those records. Hey, I'm feeling sick, Steve. We'll get there.
I'll have Ripper come on himself. Maybe we'll get him the guest on that one.
He'll be happy to do it, I'm sure.
Yeah, for sure.
There you go. All right, that's it. Shoot. Be good to yourself. Be good to others. What is it? Well, I'm not versed in Potter Than Hell talk because I don't do it regularly. It's like a muscle. I don't practice it regularly. Steve-O, what do we got to say to these people to come back next week?
We will say take care of yourselves, take care of each other. We will see you next time, and there definitely will be a next time.
There we go. See ya.
Bye.